This is Rocket.
Gotcha.
Jim Man is with the 500. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Good. Just chilling. And it's also nice to meet you too, man. Nice to meet you. Pleasure talking to you. Now, for those who are unfamiliar, now is for those who are watching and unfamiliar with you. Could you tell me about the band? Could you tell about?
Sure. We're the 500. We're based in Nottingham, England. We started out about 5, 6, 7 years ago. We just released our second album, A World on Fire, on Long Branch Records, just under a month ago. And finally, in what it seems like since forever, after a year and a half of no shows, we played our album launch show a couple of weeks ago, and it was awesome. And we're just about to go on a little tour around the UK.
So you're a band that suffers from Tourettes, OCD, and drug addiction. How did you overcome all of that to make such awesome music? How did you?
Yeah, well, Paul, our guitarist, he's not here today, but he suffers from Tourette's, and when most people think of Tourette's, they think about the obvious symptoms when you just start swearing out loud, but that only affects like say 1 in 10 people who have Tourette's, and a lot of people have Tourette's. They suffer it in different ways, like they have OCD or they have a nervous tic. So that's Paul used to get really bad OCD, but he managed to channel that into a really positive way. In that, like say for example, if he writes his name out and he doesn't write it quite right, he has to keep going over each letter like 100 times, and he'll spend 5 minutes writing his name out. And that can be quite crippling because you can't get anything done. But when it comes to guitar playing, he'll get obsessive with it, and he'll just be playing his guitar for like 5, 6, 7 hours nonstop, playing like one lick. And then he'll come in the band room the next day and he'll just be like mind blowing, like, wow, how did you do that? So yeah, it was really annoying me yesterday. I couldn't stop playing it. So he kind of channels it in a positive way, and he becomes like quite dedicated to his instrument.
Is it difficult to work with him sometimes? Is it difficult?
Not really, not really. And if anything, he's always kicking everyone up the ass because he wants everything to be perfect. So it can get quite annoying that way sometimes, but that's why he always keeps us on edge and he makes sure that we're always performing. So he's a really positive influence.
Okay, that's really good. Now, does any of that affect you when playing live though? Does any of that affect you when playing live?
No, not at all. I think when he's playing the guitar, he kind of like zones out. He's in the zone, and his stick stop and his OCD stops, and he's just So now he gets to channel it in a really positive way. So it affects us, but in a really positive way.
It's good that you're like showing that this is a real like thing, and you guys are sort of just putting it out and putting out a message. It's really good.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thanks, man. Yeah, I think we've got a duty to,
You got to,
So go on, yeah.
Congratulations on your new album, A World on Fire. It was a real banger, man. Super hard. I loved it, man. Super hard, man. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. That means a lot. Appreciate it.
How would you describe your sound?
Good question. Funny. The reason we got called the 500 is because in our early days when we were starting out, a journalist who came to one of our shows said that we had such a big wall of sound. We like to have like a really thick and well-produced sound, whether it's in the studio or on the stage. And the journalist said it didn't sound like there were 5 guys on stage. It sounded like there were 500 on stage. And we thought that's kind of cool. So we stuck with that name. So I guess we just pride ourselves on having a very thick, rich wall of sound. So it's something to hear on record, but I think if you experience it live, then you know where we're coming from.
It goes from like super hard metal voice to like really clean singing.
It does, yeah. John's always been that kind of a singer. He started out singing to all the '90s grunge bands from the US. So he was a real singer, and he got. So go on.
Sorry, what were you saying?
No, that he started doing that when he was a kid, and then when he got older, he started introducing screaming into it.
Does that ever hurt your voice going back and forth? Back and forth?
I guess if you if you don't do it correctly with like a right technique, even just singing in a normal voice can hurt your throat. And same goes for screaming. So you got to be, well, I go on what he's telling me. I'm not a singer. But he has to like train his voice and his diaphragm to make sure that he delivers it without hurting himself.
Dude, I could never imagine doing that. Just going like, sacrifice the child to go.
That's your, hey, you got it, man. Just keep practicing.
Sacrifice the child. Now you're single the wall. Now you're single. The Walls of Jericho is a tribute to the WWE wrestler and lead singer of Fozzy. Is that correct?
We've been asked that a few times. It's not to do with him, although he's cool. We like him.
He's a cool guy.
He is.
Yeah. Luckily, he doesn't beat anybody up. Just super. Just does the super. Chris Jericho.
Exactly.
What is the music scene like over in your country? What is the music scene?
Yeah, it's awesome. Andy and I actually came from Gibraltar, a small town in the south of Spain, and we moved to the United Kingdom because we wanted to be part of a bigger metal scene. And yeah, there's a great metal scene in the UK. I mean, it's arguably the birthplace of heavy metal with Black Sabbath, starting up there in the late 60s. So it's a great metal scene. Great. There's always there's always shows, there's always packs out houses. It's cool.
I gotta move there now if everything's like that. Woof.
Do it.
Yeah. Why do you think metal is so big over there? Why do you think?
It's I think part of the reason is it's quite a bleak country in terms of like weather. It's always gray, it's always raining. And I think it's hard to write metal if you're in the middle of a country where it's just like Paradise Island all the time. You probably end up playing in like a reggae band or something. But I think the weather has a lot to do with people's moods, and the moods affect art in some ways. So I think that's part of the reason. And also it's quite a densely populated country, so we've got a lot of people in an area, the size of, I don't know, Florida. And that's our entire country. So it's a lot easier to get around, and a lot of people in tight spaces. So it's easier to whip up a scene.
I know metal bands that play smaller places here play huge crowds when they go overseas.
Yeah, it kind of works like that.
So you have a new guitar player for your tour? Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, I had to step out for a few shows. I'm currently in Russia at the moment, actually. I'm not even in the UK. So I'm spending a few months over here.
Okay, so how about we just keep it like this now? I can't do the accent yet. Okay. I can't do Soviet Union. Just go to Italian. Why? Just why? What was the lockdown like where you were from?
It was tough. I think like a lot of places, I spent a lot of the lockdown on my own at home. Didn't live with anybody, so that's tough. I don't particularly do well with it being on my own all the time. I just ended up playing my guitar half the time just to keep myself busy.
How is it now?
No, it's a lot better now. Things are opening up again. We've got live shows all of a sudden again. We just gotta make sure that it stays this way and we don't go back to where we were.
Here in the States, everything is open, but we may get locked down again soon because of the Delta. We may get locked down again.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends in the States, and they tell me all the time that things are fairly open, but they could go back to the way they were.
What is it like in Russia?
Here it seems like everyone's, apart from people walking around wearing masks sometimes, everyone seems to be going about their day as normal. I think people just got tired of being locked down, and everyone just carries on as normal.
Now you're playing shows. Is it scary being back on stage?
Like the first show we played after 18 months of not playing, it was a little bit like strange. All of a sudden, like you go from something that's second nature that you do like a few times a week to doing something that you haven't done in 18 months, and you feel a bit rusty, you know? You don't know, like, okay, so where do I connect this? Like, what do I do here? Like, you just like forget it. It feels a little bit unnatural. It's a bit like riding a bike, you know? But yeah, as soon as you start playing that first note and start doing stuff, then it just all comes back to you.
Are you joining the band soon? Are you joining the band soon?
Yeah, I'll be back for the November run of shows. I'm just taking a brief break.
You okay?
Yeah, everything's cool. I just come over here. My wife's Russian, so just came over here to sort out some family stuff. And then we'll be back in November.
Was she mail order?
Sorry?
Sorry, never. Sorry. How long were you not able to tour?
18 months.
18 months, yeah. A lot of bands in the US play a show or two, then they get, okay, sorry. A lot of bands get in the US play a show or two and then get COVID big bands like Korn and Kiss. Is that happening where you are?
Yeah, it does. It's we're starting to see just a return to normal when it comes to shows in general. Just a bit worried that things will lock down again before long, but I think we just got to enjoy it whilst it's still happening.
What kind of precautions are you not taking to get or not?
Sorry?
What kind of things are you doing to not get COVID? Like, how are you being safe? What are you doing?
Well, just get vaccinated, and just be careful. You know, don't go to too many crowded places. But when you've got a lot of people in the same boat, I think it's a lot safer as long as everyone does their job.
How long is your tour?
We're kind of doing like a few mini tours. We got like 5 or 6 dates in September, 5 or 6 in October, then back in November.
What is your favorite memory from playing the show? What is your favorite memory from playing?
I think favorite show was I think that was Download Festival. You know, that's 34. I always joke that was the best 34 minutes of my life. It was just like a huge show, 1,000 of people there, and it was just an absolute rush.
What is your worst memory from playing a show?
Right. Well, I think every band would be lying if they didn't say they've played at least one show where there's like 2 people and a dog. You know, you just got to play a show and there's no one there. And I think that we've all been there.
What is next for you?
Well, we're just going to play this tour. And then I think we're just going to start writing album number 3 next year. So hopefully this time next year, we'll be close to finishing that 3rd album.
How did my followers follow you?
The best place to check us out is check us out on Facebook and then the usual Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram.
Well, thank you for being on the show, man. The next talk is
pleasure. Nice to meet you. Look after yourself. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.